we like to think of the different versatile ways that we can use these. Now, we've talked about using with different collections that you have, those beautiful twirling sentiments and things, and you saw some beautiful pictures from the lovely viewers that had brought in the Mickey Mouse, the babies. That's what you can do. But what you can also do is think about this in a little different way. So have that pop-out feature in the middle of a card. So I've got a lovely, and I mean, I don't know about anybody else, and I heard the comment yesterday, one of, I think it was it our lovely Tanya that was on with us at the Craft House, and she said she loved working with big cards. Here in the UK, we're very firm favourites of 7x7s and 8x8s. I am an 8x8 girl. I love the bigger the card, the better for me, because I just think it has that wow statement, although I do love lots of different things, and I love this technique because this technique, not only has it got that big card element, but when you open it up, I just love this. Are you ready for this? Are you ready? Open the card up. You've got that lovely pop-up feature in the middle of the card, and this is what you can do with these, and it's really quite simple how to do it, she says. But it really is, honestly. I mean, it's just a lovely feature, and it still folds nice and flat as well. So when you get it done, it folds flat, and you've got all that added extra element, that lovely pop-out feature in there as well, Joe.
It's a great new way of using these. I've not seen, all the time we've done this, I've never seen
Have you never
that
seen
concept
this?
with this. No, so I think that's an awesome way of using it. Let me know in the comments if you've done this already or it's new to you. Remember, if you want to chat away with me, you can do so over on Facebook. It's Crafters TV on Facebook, or search Crafters Companion over on YouTube.
Right, Joe, we're going to start with, now we've just mentioned A3 cardstock, did we not?
We did.
Yeah. So I've made an 8x8 card using the A3 cardstock. So absolutely fabulous. I've got my 8x8 and it's that beautiful Centura pearl finish. It's got that lovely sheen and shine. So literally, all we're going to do is make that using your scoreboard, and it's very simple to do as well. So that bit put to one side, but we're going to talk about the worker element die again. Now, exactly the same way as when we first started, where we're going with this, it just depends on how big. Now, if you think about an 8x8 card, what size do you want to go to? You don't want something that's going to be bigger because it'll spoil the effect when it pops out. So for this one, and I'm just, apart from running it through again, I just think sometimes this might get a little bit tedious if you're watching. So I'm just going to show you what we did. Now, taking some cardstock again, and measurement-wise, I know that 7.5 would look lovely in the middle of the box because these parts are the tabs that are going to fold down. So I know, again, just think about how big you want to go with the box. Make sure you're not going too big that it'll come out of the 8x8, but I know that that's going to fold over nicely. And again, it's exactly the same way. Pop it on your 2 pieces of cardstock. Bearing in mind, when you've run that through, all you're going to do again, Joe, is you're going to extend it by taking your scoreboard and your score tool and scoring down to the bottom part. And the same with this tab part as well. Exactly the same way, and you're just going to give it nice burnish a nice burnished finish. Finish is the word I'm looking for there. And exactly the same way again, we're going to go in, fold it inwards, fold that inwards, and there we go. So we've got all our burnished parts ready. Now, what we're also going to do is we're going to keep these 2 bits straight, because if you think about these are going to sit inside the card, so I don't need to fold that over this time. I can keep them nice and straight. What I'm just going to do is make sure that these 2 pieces are coming over so that they're going to be the front parts when it pops out of the box. And we're going to constructor's box the same way that we've done all the way through the show. So what I'm going to do is, first of all, I'm going to put my tape on the inside of that tab. Everything's exactly the same. We're not changing anything up. What we're just making sure, Debbie, is that you've got your inside of the box right. So this straight edge, I'm going to marry up to this tab here. Okay?
Lots of people loving this idea. Gilmore says, love the idea of the box card embedded in. Angela saying, how awesome would the staycation stamp and dies be with these? Yes, absolutely, Angela. Yes. Laurie says this that opens up many possibilities. Pop up in the card. And Susie saying, I love the idea of the pop-up inside the card. I'm going to make them for my auntie's birthday next weekend. As well, which is awesome.
And you know what? She'll love it. The fact that you've got a pop-up box inside a pop-up card. It's just going to look incredible. I've done exactly the same with the tabs. So the tabs that are on the inside, exactly the same where I've done the Z feature. You can see there, just by 1 up, 1 down. And you repeat that on all of them. And we're going to put this in the same way that we've done with the boxes. So again, if you remember what we did, we had our box constructed, stuck together, but just before you fold it all in, pop a bit of glue glue just down this edge or your chosen tape. So again, I'm just using our super strong adhesive and going all the way down. And then I'm going to just pop in now all of these tabs, making sure that this flat edge measures up alongside there. So I'm going to carry on doing that, Joe, if you want to be reading some comments.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just looking ahead, actually, Debbie, to the awesome things that are coming up at the start of next week here on Crafters TV. So tomorrow we've got a fantastic Craig vault.
Craig
What that
vault.
is, don't you? That's a craft vault with Craig. Don't forget, though, of course, tomorrow morning, Wake Up Call with Craig's going to be here with you first thing, as it always is. He's up in the next hour, in the next show, actually, for Second Chance Sunday. So I'll have to get a little bit of a teaser from him as to what might be coming up tomorrow in that show. And then something that you have all been waiting for. Ooh. It is, of course, launch day, the new Sarah Signature Caring Thoughts collection. It is your Crafters TV launch day, so make sure you join us for that. I know you guys are going to absolutely love it. And then I've got a fantastic Monday Makers with the lovely Jan a little later in the evening. And Sarah Brown will be joining us as well. There will be no second craft vault tomorrow because Sarah will be up with Adam Freeman on the HSN pages from this on the HSN page and from our USA page, I believe. I'll give you more details of that tomorrow as well. Hang on. Yes, that's on Monday. Tuesday, up to 30% off Craft Vault with myself and Leanne. Me and Leanne have not worked together for absolutely ages, so it's going to be a really fun day with Leanne. I've then got Softer Side with Lizzie Skyping me in from Suffolk, so that'll be nice. I've got Launch Party back with Leanne as well, and we are launching the new Crafters Inspiration 29, which will be incredible. And then finally, the second edition of Craft Vault up to 30% off. So that's the next couple of days here on Crafters TV.
Fabulous. Now, Joe, I've been busy doing the cheat way of getting these in, so it's nice and neat, and that lovely neat finish, and I hope that's helped putting it together to show you. I might need to do on front view for this one, just so you can see it, but when you bring this down, all you're going to do is marry up that tab on the inside now of this tab, and it just is incredibly easy. Another way you could do it is just flatten it and then marry up to that edge, but just take care when you're doing this to make sure it's nice and flush up to that score line. And I'm just going to hold it this way so I can see what I'm doing. Always very difficult. I know Sarah's an absolute dab hand at getting upside down.
Where does the word or the term dab hand come from? That's what I want to know.
Dab hand? Oh, I've no idea.
Laura's Googling. Googling.
She Googling. Now I've got my box all ready. So before we put this inside the card, we're going to decorate that card up. So I'm going to bring back in my card using that I've made from the A3 cardstock. What I've done though is, do you know those gorgeous papers, Joe? They're to die for. They're absolutely beautiful. And I've done a bit of matting and layering. So what I've done is, because I knew it was an 8x8 card, I've used some craft card and cut this to 7 3/4 by 7 3/4. And then the cardstock itself from that beautiful paper pad, I've gone to 7.5 inches. That's right, 7.5 inches by 7.5 inches square. So I've got the perfect mat and layer that's going to fit on the inside and the outside of my card. So what I'm going to do is, Joe, I'm going to pop on some wet glue to get this into place.
Awesome.
And then we're just going to place that onto the front. I'm just going to make sure that's all the way around. And then get that and wiggle it into spots.
Inkwell Chick saying this would be a fun element in a memory album.
Oh,
wouldn't it? Imagine like the centre page being this.
What a lovely idea that is. I like that idea. We're going to decorate the inside of the card as well to make sure that it's got that lovely wow element when you pick this up, when you pick it up. So again, let's pop that in, Joe. And I'm going to do the same with the other one as well. There we go.
It's a dab hand comes from Yorkshire dialect apparently. And
well,
it
I am
means
from
to
Yorkshire.
Be straight in the middle or something like that. That's where we seem to think. But not really a definitive answer on the internet as to where it comes from. Just something that we use. I find it very, very interesting. I find it interesting how we all have different accents anyway. And you know, how a place like the UK and England, we can have so many different accents in such a tiny part of the country. Even I can tell the difference between now, having worked in this area for a little while, I can tell the difference between a Darlington accent, a Durham accent, and a Newcastle accent. which is, I mean, and there's probably,
You're
they're probably
kidding.
within 25, 30 miles of each other. Yeah, absolutely. And then someone I know that's from Chesterley Street, which is very close to Newcastle, they spoke totally different to someone that's from Newcastle, and I just couldn't get my head around that.
Do you know, I can't tell the difference. Like with Yorkshire, I mean, there's so many, it's like you said, the Yorkshire dialect, there's different places from where you are, because Sheffield's in Yorkshire and Leeds is in Yorkshire. Leeds is in Yorkshire, isn't it? Yes, it is. There's different dialects for all that. I just think it's absolutely fascinating, and I absolutely love an accent. To just think, don't disguise your accent, be proud of where you're from, and that's what you should do. Now, can we talk about the box? Can we go to the box? Because I want to talk to you about how you would place this in. Now, I talked about sticking it down into the box so you can see. You're going to pop it onto either side of this, but I thought about this afterwards and I thought, do you know what? Let's decorate it before we actually do. But when you can see that pop-up motion, that's where it's going to stick. Inside the card. So I'm thinking to myself, shall we decorate the box first and then pop it in? So I've done my panels and I've taken my cardstock. So it's just so that I've got a visual of where my card is and where it's going to pop up. So when you look at this, let's just pop this in so you can see what I mean. When we stick these two panels, this panel and this panel are going to go on the inside of the card. Can you see that pop out motion, Joe?
Indeed.
Absolutely, let me bring that in. So I know that when I'm decorating now, the card, I want to decorate this panel, this tab, and the inside tabs here. So with that in mind, I'm just going to move that out for a second, lay that flat, and I'm going to start to decorate up this, okay? So let's just pop this down. So it's very simple, really, when you think about it, and strip it back. And I'm hoping that I'm explaining this clear enough to you when you're wanting to replicate this. But it was just something, I absolutely love the idea of a pop-out feature. I'm a box-loving girl at heart. I love making boxes. Construction is definitely one of my things, and I love trying new ideas. But the idea of having a pop-out explosion inside a card, I just thought I wanted to share with you. So there we go. So I popped in those two elements there, and then I'm going to decorate the inside tabs here as well.
Awesome.
So bearing in mind you've got those dies that will cut out the inner panel, all I've done is added an extra 1/4 inch on in craft card, because I thought craft card looked quite nice for a change, Joe.
Really lovely. I just want to share with you some of the stuff that you're going to find coming up in that Second Chance Sunday show a little bit later. We've got the stained glass window dies on that are always popular. We've also got the decorative outline die collection that was on recently. That was on a fantastic. I mean, we've got some great deals coming up in the show. There's going to be some flower forming coming up in that show as well, which I know you love. I know Craig really loves that as well. We've got the winter dies on there from the flower forming, and also the Learn to Flower Form collection. Those Reef Sentiment that have always been busy, they're coming up. I know your favourite one, the Ultimate Organiser Complete Collection. You guys have been loving that already, and also another chance to see the Peekaboo collections, the beautiful butterflies, and also we've got some beautiful card on there for you too. So it's going to be a really jam-packed, busy Second Chance Sunday show coming up with myself and Craig in about 1 hour and 25 minutes. So make sure that you join us both for that one. Is this paper from the paper pad that you're using here, Debbie?
It is. It absolutely is. It's the most beautiful paper pad I mean, I love paper, full stop. I'm a big lover of paper and cardstock, and it is absolutely glorious. But all it's enabling me to do is just simply decorate the inside of the box. I'm going to make sure that that's stuck down before I actually stick that in. But can you see now that the bits that I want to be on show are now in place? So there's no point wasting anything on the back, because that's going to be covered up, and the same there. They're the only bits that I want to be decorating. So that's all done, Joe. And now what we're going to do is bring the cardstock back in, because what we're going to do now is just stick it in. Now this bit is the bit there I would recommend either red liner tape or your wet glue or your tape pen. So any glue of your choice, whatever it is that you want to do. I think with this one, I'm going to use wet glue, because to get it into place, I want a bit of forgiving time. I want a bit of leeway to get it into its place so that it folds nice and crisply in the centre. So if you are going to use red liner tape, just take care, make sure you've got it ready and to go in, because it's quite difficult. You'll end up tearing your beautiful papers on the inside of your card. So for that reason, I'm going to use wet glue. And if you think about it, I'm just going to turn it over so you can see where I want to put the wet glue is on all of these panels. So I'm going to pop that on now, and we're going to just run that all the way along.
This is a bit where everyone is concentrating. I can sense it, Debbie.
Can you?
I can
Well,
feel
it's just to make sure that you've got it into place.
The ultimate concentration of the whole audience.
It's just so you can get it right. Now, when you pop this in, Joe, you're going to bear in mind this score line is the one that's going to measure up into the middle. So I'm going to just place that now, and I want it to be, I'm going to have it right at the very bottom. So, and again, using wet glue, Joe, makes it a little bit easier, because if it does splodge out anywhere...
If it does what now?
Splodge.
Splodge out.
Splodge out, so where glue escapes. The best thing about this is it's that forgiving glue, because you can rub it off. You roll it up like, oh my goodness, what's the right word? You just roll it until you've got all the little bits off, and it means that you can get that into place. But what I'm going to do now, Joe, is I'm just going to make sure that it folds up. So you can see I've lifted it up a little bit. I'm going to make sure that that crease is right into the fold of my card and give it a good press down. And then I'm just going to flip it over for a second so we can repeat it on the other side as well. And make sure you've pushed it up into the corner of that fold. Oh, perfect bit of camera work there. Thank you very much for that, George. That looks fantastic, so that you can get to see how you're popping that in there. So that bit said, all I'm going to make sure is that when it's folded over, it folds nice and flat. So now, give it a good burnish on either side.
Could you put something on top of that if you wanted to, and leave it just for a bit,
Oh,
Debbie?
of course you can. Of course you can. The thing about wet glue, the glue that we use here ever such a lot, and now Leanne calls it her favourite glue in the whole wide world, is that it does dry fairly quickly. It's not something that's going to take like 24 hours to dry or anything like that, but it gives you that forgiving time to be able to get things into place. So you can see now everything is in there, and we know now that that folds up nice and flat, but when we open it up, ta-da! And we haven't even decorated it yet, Joe. So that bit is the bit that I'm going to do next. I'm going to let that dry. And it's like you said about putting something heavyweight on there. Absolutely, if you want to do that. But I know that that's going to be fine, and I don't think anything's going to happen to it. So what I'm just going to do now, Joe, is place it to one side just for a second while we then do the bit of decorating.
Awesome.
This one. Which one shall we use this time, Joe? Oh, let me think. Oh, no, where have I put it? Getting so excited.
Is it your bat wings again?
No, it's not my bat wings. No, I'm going to use the Back to Nature.
Oh,
but you
I love
could
that.
use anything you wanted. Could you imagine having that lovely Mickey Mouse theme or that baby theme?
Oh, yeah.
Where you could put Welcome to the World on the front and then all your baby features inside. You've got that lovely pop-out element. I just think, you know, you could use absolutely anything. But this one's a gorgeous one, the Back to Nature. And as with all the other collections that we've got, you've got the set of stamps. I'll just move that out of the way for a second. You've got the set of stamps, and when you stamp it all out and then use your dies, you've got every single die there. That means you don't have to take your fussy cut scissors. I mean, I know our Craig, God love him, he would be fussy cutting that out. He would love it. But for those who don't want to, you've got the matching dies for each and every single one. And don't forget, you've got the tri-blends on the show as well, so you could do a spot of colouring. Shall we colour one of the little flowers in? Let's use, oh, I love the dusty purple. Dusty purple, one of my favourites, this one.
Dusty purple.
Light, medium, dark, the original tri-blend pen with the nib, bullet nib on each one, and it's that 3-in-1 family of colours that make it really easy to get seamless, effortless colouring every single time and blending with ease. So you're going to start with the light. We'll do this lovely floral one. I'm going to start with the light one. Oh, do you know what I'm doing? Cardinal sin. I haven't put any blotting paper underneath. Get your blotting paper underneath, Debbie. But you're going to pop down your light colour. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop the lightest colour down on each of these panels. There we go. Pop that down. I just love it. You'll have to excuse me,
It's
George,
like a colouring coma. I'm mesmerised
I'm
as
so
well
sorry.
today,
I
Debbie.
forget to talk.
Shannon says she's going to try this for a birthday card that she needs to make next week, which is awesome. Karen says the card is awesome, definitely going to get my vote today. My vote is for this card. This is definitely my selection for demo of the show. This is one of my favourites as well, says Jeffrey, Gilmore, Teresa. Definitely, I think we don't even need I'm not sure we even need to bother with the vote today, you know, Debbie. Already, people making their feelings very clear about what the winning demo is on this show. So we will give you a chance to vote because, you know, it's a sort of a democratic election of these demonstrations. So we can't. I mean, I couldn't just come in and say, you know, I've decided that it's going to be this one today. That's not how it goes. The people have not yet spoken, although they kind of have at the same time. It's very busy across both of your collections as well. Remember, what you can do is mix and match, which is fantastic. Don't forget to do that, whether you're going for the everydays or you're mix and matching across with your Christmas ones as well. We've got the tri-blends on the show as well. Remember, all of the 6 pieces. So if you've been thinking about maybe just dipping your toe, you don't want to go for a whole collection, the great thing is that they are all on there. They're kind of in like, I guess they're like project packs is how I like to think of these. You've got floral, portrait, vintage, woodland, natural, exotic, coastal and jewel. And they are $19.99 each or $29.95. Any two though for £35 or $50. So don't miss out on those, which is great. You get a nice little saving when you get to them in their twos, which is awesome. Karen says, you certainly weren't wrong, Joe, when you said this would be the favourite. I kind of thought I knew I did. Debbie's going for the demo of the week with this card, is what I'm saying. Well, don't forget, we're going to be picking demo of the week, aren't we, in the next show? So we will be doing that. We will vote throughout the show on that. Lynn Harvey says she's definitely voting for this card as well. I mean, it is a foregone conclusion, really, isn't it? What is going to be?
Thank you.
What's going to be winning on this one just here? Really, I love this particular collection that you've got here, Debbie. It's the Back to Nature one that we've got just here. It really is a gorgeous one, and something that you could colour up. I mean, you could make it quite autumnal if you want to. The one I've got here is quite spring-like almost. I know it's kind of very all sort of yellows and reds, which is fantastic. So you can see it is really, really beautiful. And also quite summery, but you can make it wintry. You could make it Christmassy if you want to. How about putting things like glossy accents on there to make it, you know, look quite different? And also, someone's put a bow on the front of this one. You could actually put proper bows on the front, couldn't you? Not that that's not a proper bow, but you know, a bow made from ribbon.
You can.
I found it like Bow Selector then, didn't I? It's proper bow, I tell me.
You can put anything you want onto these, Joe. It's all about that decoration. This is the fun part that you're going to have the fun with. And these die sets and stamp sets, I keep telling you, and I mean this, you can use this into all your other crafting too, not just with the pop-up boxes. You can use this in multiple ways, absolutely multiple ways. So, shall I start putting this together? Because what I'll do is, I'm just going to show you, again, you've got all the dies from the florals to the bark pieces here, and when you die cut them all out, and I'm just going to bring this in without trying to knock everything off there, Joe, because I know what I'm like, and I've got my acetate stuck to my pieces, but look what you can create by using all of these, and these are going to be the decorated I'll speak again. Dropping all my bits again, Joe. I'm dropping all my bits. I'm trying to get up. What am I stood on now? Oh, do you know?
What you dropped?
I tripped over my bag earlier, then I've dropped the top end of my glue, do you know, my tape pen, and I've just stood on it and crushed it.
Oh, Debbie.
Well, what can I say? Now, going back to these, cut them all out, so stamp them, colour them, die cut them, get them ready to put onto your project, and that's exactly what I'm going to do, Joe. So I'm just going to move those out of the way. And then we're going to start building this up. So I'm going to bring back in my lovely card base. It'll be nice and dry now. But look, it still folds lovely and neat. Pop up. Lovely and neat. Pop up. Just love it.
Are you just going to do that for the rest of the show now? That's you, Seth.
Pop up. Absolutely. I'm just looking for my acetate though. I had it a minute ago, Joe. What did I do with it?
Is
it right in front of me? Where? Oh no, wait a minute.
What are you looking for now?
Me acetates. Give me a second. I need to find me acetates.
Could be, that could be anywhere, couldn't it?
It
Could be
anywhere.
absolutely anywhere, let's
look,
face it.
I've got a little bit left. I've got a little bit. I didn't have a big piece because everything was stuck to it a minute ago. I love acetate, but honestly...
It's under the packaging in front of you, apparently. No?
No. It's just one of those things you can't help but lose. I know I'm not the only person. I know every crafter out there will be howling because it happens to them too. Drives me mad. Love the stuff, but it drives me mad. So what we're going to do is...
Maybe someone will rewind, see where you put it, and then fast forward again and let us know. That's what someone could do. I know that our crafters are that dedicated, Debbie. They'll do it for us. I know
Do you think so, Joe? Do you think so?
I know so. I know so.
You know so. Right, we're going to start doing the decorating bit. So again, entirely up to you, however you put this in. You're going to build up the scene yourself. What I'm just going to do, I'm going to try and bring it there. It's very difficult to do this on this overhead camera, so I'm just going to have it at the front of me. I think what we might do is do it this way. Let's see if we can go to the front. And I'll try.
It was on top of your stamps, apparently.
Was it on top of my stamps, was it? I bet I've moved my
Yeah.
stamps out of way, Joe. That's what I'll have done.
No,
Let
your
me just... I'm just going to move this to one side. I'm going to bring this in so that I can do the decorating piece. And I'm just going to start adding these bits in. Very, very difficult to do upside down, back to front and everything else. It really is. Before I actually put some of the scenes on though, I'm going to add some extra little elements. So if I've lost my bird now, I'm going to be right angry with myself.
You lost your what?
Honestly, my bird. Let me pop my bird.
Maybe it's flown off.
Well, do you know, it's one of these things when you get in
It's
this
on
craft
top
room.
of your dies and stamps, apparently, Debbie, the acetate. You moved
Did
it off to the
I?
side on top of your dies and stamps.
No.
No. It's between the
Is it
dies and the
between it?
stamps.
Who said that? Who rewound it?
Laura
Look at that, it's
rewound.
there. My goodness. Oh, yeah, I bet you did a bit of rewinding there, didn't you? I thought so. I knew you'd find it. I knew you'd find it. I found my bird, though, so all is saved. But
Oh,
what
well,
I'm
there
going
you
to
go.
do is I'm just going to add these little features on before I actually stick it in. So I've put my bird floating on my little branch there, and then we're going to hang my lovely little bird cage. What's not a bird cage, is it? What's that called?
What is it?
Feeding tray. Is it a feeding tray?
I can't see what it
Think,
is.
you got there, little feeding. It's those little details. Let me go back down here. Let's see if I can go down there for George.
A birdhouse?
It is a birdhouse. What am I like? Right, so I'm going to start sticking that on. Oh dear, I'm just going to start sticking it on and getting it all ready. So all these lovely little features are on there before I stick them in. So again, I'm going to place that. I think I might have that on that side. Let me come in closer. Oh, I'm going to have to learn the knack of doing this way. You see, at home, Joe, at home, I would be facing this in front of me and doing it that way. I
Yeah.
just want to make sure that it's not, when it folds, it is going to fold nice and flat. There we go. Let me just, I've got a wonky tree, Joe, I've got a wonky
Oh,
tree.
no.
Can't be having a wonky tree. Right, let me be doing this. Read some more comments, Joe, while I try and do this and get it in there.
You do that. I guess it's a bit difficult to do it from behind, isn't it? Facing the right way when you've got it in that way. Loads of you chatting away. I think we've abandoned the vote, you know, because the people have spoken, Debbie. Every single message has been about this card so far. Jenny says it's demo of the show. Inkwell Chick, I vote for this demo. For Holiday says this card with the hidden pop-up box is the demo of the show and the demo of the week is what people are saying. Diane saying,
I'm not getting too carried away. I'm not going to get too excited
yeah,
just
don't get
yet.
too excited yet. I mean, you know, you've got a lot of competition, Debbie. But
I know, I've
think,
seen
you know,
some beauties, some absolute beauties.
yeah, I mean, you'll have to come back up and you'll have to turn around halfway to Peterborough and come back and get your there isn't a trophy.
Is there a
there?
trophy?
What can we? I'll tell you what. I'll give you this. This can be your trophy if you win. There
If
you
I
go.
win? Is that if I win?
This will be your trophy if you win, Debbie. I'll let you take this lantern. How about that? That's the winner of the lantern of don't know, what could we call it? The lantern of love.
The lantern of love, I
Yeah.
like that. The
That's
lantern of
what,
love.
so that's what you'll win. I'm not sure what our boss Jenny will say when she comes in tomorrow
No,
and realises
no, I think-
that
I
the set
think, yeah,
dressing's missing.
I I don't think she'd be happy that you've been destroying a beautiful set, because let's just say a lot of hard work has gone into this beautiful new studio that we've got, and it looks absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible.
It does. But Suzette, Diane, Jane, Carol. Carol says, I thought Craig was going to win this week. Then I thought Leanne, but Debbie may have just picked it at the post. Go, Debbie. Ruth loving it as well. Lou's got a great tip for you. Put a piece of washi tape on the edge of your acetate and then you never lose it.
Oh, I like
tip.
that. That is a cracking idea.
It is, isn't it? Right, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take you back through the everyday collection that you have got.
So let me just finish my little finished. I've decorated the front. I've put some more extra little elements. I'm just going to finish this off with a little bird just on the top of the branch there. So I've got my lovely little tag there with the just for you. But then when we open it up, are you ready, Joe? Are you ready? Let's move all my things out of the way. I hope this works. I hope this works. Are you ready there? Woohoo!
I love that.
So it is very, very simple to do. It's a very easy, achievable thing that you can do as well. But what that actually does is just give it a wonderful extra element that you can use this. I just think it's fabulous.